All right, we're here Tuesday evening, December 16th, 5:30 p.m. here in the conference room at City Hall for our monthly Scottsburg Tree Board meeting. I'm going to do a roll call tonight of just members to just state your name. Just go around again. My name is Tom Springston. I'm current president at the moment.
Chuck Stewart, Vice President.
DK Cunningham.
Dale Hobbs, I was secretary, but I'm going that. I'm about finishing this, my last meeting.
Rick Kozer.
All righty. So just want to show that I know Monty, Craig said that he wouldn't be able to be here tonight. He had another conflict of another meeting. And I'll give a report from him here in a moment when we talk about visiting with council members and department heads. Hadn't heard from Brad Mayhair or John Padgen, so they may be coming in here. Left a message with Randy Ritchie, but just got voicemail, so I don't know any confirmation if he was to be here tonight or not. But, you'll see the agenda that we have there. Is there anybody that sees we need to change anything or add anything to our agenda? If not, we'll take that as needing to roll on. You'll see I made up some minutes of our previous meeting and had emailed those out. Didn't know if anybody got a chance to look at them ahead of time or if you needed to now. It's kind of discussions of our last meeting in November.
Looks good to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was right on.
All right. So have a motion to approve those minutes.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
Chuck, second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, same sign. Okay, so we'll take the minutes of the November meeting approved, and I think Stacy said that she had posted them. I didn't look. I guess they're supposed to be posted or something on the website. And I'll go ahead and I can take some minutes for tonight since it kind of was in the routine of it, and then I'll scoot those to her. Under old business, you'll see I had made a copy of our revised rules of procedure that we updated last month. It was basically, Dale, to let you know that it was on the back side of that page, really just under meetings, regular meetings, saying how we're going to hold them on the third Tuesday of each month.
Yeah,
Which 5:30, okay, here at the new Scottsburg City Hall for Mid-America. So that's basically the really the only change that we had. And again, we had revised them at our last meeting. This is a copy for you all. On our last, and there's Mr. Brad Mayhair attending with us too. So Brad was here last month, so you remember, Brad, how we're on the live feed up there. So just
Okay.
I'm glad you were able to come. We're down under there under old business, and you'll see, Brad, we just did and got approval on last month's meeting minutes. And then there's your copy of the rules of procedure for the tree board.
Okay.
On our management plan that we had kind of discussed a lot last month, is there any other follow-up discussion that we need to have on that?
I thought most of the utilities and about that digital mapping thing, they said, just call us and we'll come find it for you.
Okay.
Because the things are so complicated and so much stuff on there that we probably have more time trying to figure out what they're saying.
You know what kind of system they have?
Yeah, no, I don't know what kind of system they got. I think all of them got about the same version. But they said, because you have to call Holy Moly anyway, and then, make sure there's no utilities or nothing there. And they'll call everybody else. We can always just call the electrical guy and say, hey, can you guys come out and, look it up? And they said it was no problem. We can always find time for you guys. And so I was hoping to get them masked, but, I guess they could be different sizes, and the bigger they are, the more you can see. By the time we get one like his size, I won't be able to make out what it is.
Yeah. The maps I made for the tree, the management plan are like 3 foot by 4 foot, if you actually roll them out. but they're digital, so you can zoom in on them and zoom out,
Yeah.
see what you need.
That's what they can do too.
Yeah.
But we don't have that capability. To zoom in and out.
Mhm.
But I did talk to them and they said, no problem. They even though we had a tree board and I brought it up at the city meeting. And, they asked us, did Johnny Appleseed come through here? I said, I'll have to do some research on that. But they didn't know, they didn't realize we even had a tree board. And now they are aware of it.
That's true. People do not realize you have a community foundation or any of this stuff. Some
Mhm.
people have no knowledge of anything, hardly where they live.
The last time we talked to them at the city council meeting was 2 years ago, I think, when we had finished up the grant, we had to do a presentation. So it's been a couple
A
of
bit
years.
before I got on there, because I've been on there about
Mhm.
2 years so far. And, but they do know about us now,
Mhm.
so.
Okay, anything else on that?
No, I guess I got on the board because I had been on it to the park board.
Mhm.
When I was sitting on that board at one time, so. But I'm glad to be back though.
Okay. Under the reports on visiting with council members and department heads, I asked Monty when I talked to him today, said, so did you get to talk to Willie about some trees at Beechwood? He said, yes, he did. And he swung up there and have a look at some of those and see what he was talking about or trying to point out some of those. And if he had any other questions, he'd maybe get with you, Chuck, to see. But
Yeah, we did some work down there. John and I did the tree trimming down there a couple weeks back and did a lot of good work. Still probably can do some more.
I'm sorry to miss that. I came the week, when we
Yeah.
shouldn't have. And I had it in my notes and went back and looked. I said, man, that's coming up. It was the week before.
Yeah.
I didn't write it in this where I'm looking. I usually put everything so I can keep track. I went back and looked.
Well, the weekend that you showed up, I forgot all about it until.
Well,
3 days
everybody did
later.
but me. Don't feel bad, but you couldn't do it because it was having that park,
Yeah.
city park thing. And then the one I was supposed to, and I had it in my minutes, but I didn't put it here. And when I thought about it, it already over. I could see where,
We lost,
a couple of you to do it.
We found one tree that we lost down there, between the parking lot and Railroad Street. One of those trees, just west of the railroad tracks, that grassy area before you get to the parking lot, one of those died. And, something I don't know how we can go about doing it. There's a few trees around town, some in the parks that probably need to come down that are standing dead. There's a pine tree down there by the pickleball courts that looks like it's almost gone. And there's a few trees around town that I've seen that are just stone dead, standing.
On city property.
Yeah, they're on the right of way. So I don't know. Used to, the electric department would take care of that. I don't know who's doing it now. Or if the street department does it now. Something we probably ought to investigate and find out. And it's not like they all have to be done right away. It's like they've been standing out there dead for several years, so another few months isn't going to probably hurt anything. I say that and we'll have a storm and drop them all, but
Are you able to call Willie and ask him what he wants to do?
yeah, if you want to.
Well, I can call him. I got his card. I can always call him. I got that in his cell phone number. I can call him and say, we got some trees and well, how do they want us to proceed? And I can get with you.
What I've done, and elsewhere, what I've done is I go out and I find these trees that need to come down.
Mhm.
You know, like in New Albany, they had the management plan, but they weren't completely funded at the time. So if we found some really dangerous trees or dead trees, we would mark them. And then we'd I think down there was the street department, we'd let them know. And as they had time, they would go out and try to take care of them. So
Yeah, I think I got a crew that just does that because I'll see them out everywhere. It seems like during the summer months, cutting down trees and branches, especially the ones that turn the power on.
yeah, I was gonna say, Chuck's probably right on whether it's like a Electric department will probably take care of the trees around the electric lines, but his street department will do them otherwise.
But just preventive maintenance, that's all it is, because if you don't, you're probably gonna get caught with it.
Mhm.
It'll probably be my house.
Yeah, and
Take,
then,
he catches around it.
in the past, the electric department's done it because it's OSHA violation if you're not live line certified to get within 10 feet of that conductor, tool or anything. And so the utility company, electric utility, is pretty much the only one in town that can handle it unless they have a contractor. But the ones in the parks that don't have any power lines around them, whoever, the street department, parks department, whoever can do that.
Yeah, but if Rick will touch base with Willie and maybe just ask that too.
Yeah.
What would be the procedure, so.
I need to get your phone number so I can get a hold of you. Here, write it on back his card. Yeah, I was running that softball league down there, me and the wife, we had that tree by that dugout. It fell off right in the middle of the game, went right on first base. It didn't hit nobody, it just had to be between innings. And,
Well, there were several big ones down there when I did the management plan that they got Begley to come down and take them down. They were just big around.
oh, yeah.
It's a shame we lost those trees. But not much you can do about them.
All right, thank you.
They could have been a lot big like that. And they're gonna die.
Well, it's
Pretty
just,
much.
you have so much ground disturbance around them and at a park setting, and that damages the root zone, and then they lose their source of water and nutrients and stability. And they start declining. You can see some down at Beechwood now that all the tips of the limbs are dead, or they've died back.
Yeah.
That's typical when they get in a stress situation over years.
Okay, do we have any other old business or something I forgot about to put on there? Any new business anyone had to bring up?
I was considering calling Trimble and getting a price on the Trimble unit so we could do the tree inventory with one of those. I'm expecting it'll be outrageously expensive to rent one, let alone buy one. But I thought I'd check and we'll see where we can go with that. The Forest Service used them all the time. We had a dozen of them sitting around because it's a government taking a $400,000 piece of equipment. But I don't think we got the budget.
So what does the city use anything at the moment?
Well,
Or,
I don't know if they contracted somebody to do it or if the city has any equipment like that. I would guess if any department had it, it would either be street or utility. Maybe water, but they probably have, if they've got one, I would imagine they share it because those things are so pricey. And you gotta have a subscription for the service to get the satellite signals. A lot of bigger cities use them because you can do everything from catch basins and manholes and invert elevations into manholes and telephone poles and everything. You can put it all on a map. Give you a GPS location down to sub-meter accuracy if you want it, even less than that, sub-centimeter.
and again, it's kind of for the purpose to be the inventory of trees and just
Yeah.
map where they are, kind of know what kind of conditions.
Update the inventory. But I'm guessing, just from what I've worked on in the past, it's gonna be probably too expensive for us. Well, I'll probably find another way to do it.
If it was expensive a long time ago,
Yeah.
you can't afford it.
They're pricey.
Because everything. is
They're nice
gone.
units, but they cost.
Everything is just gone.
I'm at the trail system on the Hoosier with one, and I just put it on my belt and turned it on, and it took a signal reading every 10 seconds or 5 seconds. So I just walked down the trail, and I'm at all 220 miles we had. It's that same one summer. Come back, load it on the computer, and it pops it on the map. You got your new trail map. So
Those things are probably pricey, but I was thinking when Dale said those kind of things, thinking back to my first little, whatever,
like a Garmin or
calculator,
something.
you know, for college and how expensive those things
Oh, yeah,
are.
yeah.
Now. They're super cheap, but I imagine.
And now
these
they're
aren't.
useless.
Yeah.
I've got one, but it's out of date. You can't, it's
HP,
useless.
that's what
It's
that's what I was trying to
useless.
think of.
Yeah, those
Why don't you
HPs,
use
the
that?
programmable
It's
ones.
useless.
Yeah, they're like $250.
Oh, yeah, but they're useless now. they're not up to date, so
You can do everything on your phone now.
just do your
Just
cell
easy,
phone.
Cheaper.
All right, any other new business? I'll mark that down, but Chuck's maybe gonna.
At
check
least
with them.
call and try to get a price on what one would cost to lease or something.
Anything else? Well, we said this night might be a short meeting, not have as much business, but wanted to get back and find out what Rick and Monty had found out from talking with some of the others, the council and department heads. Under other business, had listed how for Dale and I, it's our last meetings, and I didn't reprint our terms sheet again, but I sent it out. But how, again, in the rotation, and Dale and I were on some of the originals.
Original, we've been here since day one.
So glad that we got a lot of
You're only,
new folks.
like, the first you had some for 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years, and then they fall off and you rotate through. Well, no, we didn't never fall off. So after 2 full terms,
You can come down for a partial, do like another year or two.
He's interested in doing more traveling, I think.
sometimes I've got that planned. So it usually interferes one way or the other because they're usually in the middle of the month.
But again, have certainly appreciated the new folks that have come on and
That's
stepped up and doing things, and Chuck being the one that has kind of spearheaded, excuse me, a lot of our doing the pruning and keeping in track and all the trees and everything. So you'll note there, the next meeting and for the first of the year will be on Tuesday, January 20th, be 5:30 PM right here, same place. And I'll assume that y'all will do like officer elections at that point and stuff.
That's good. We've got several people that are going to be here because you're supposed to have 5, and a lot of times we are 4 to have passing. So many times we just had 4. We never had 7 to get there like the old been.
And Chuck, I was gonna say, it's on my to-do list and I will get that done. But I was just gonna buy a memory stick, thumb drive, however you wanna call them, and put all the records of, like that Malvina had, what I had,
Okay.
those kind of things.
Thanks.
Put them on that and figured that'd be the best way to transfer or to give me some stuff. So Chuck here earlier, as I was looking through another box I had at the office, and Malvina had gotten some samples of plaques like to put on the trees. So there's actually one there for Dorothy Cass and the fire and dogwood that was planted in her memory. And then that river birch that we did for Don's stuff. And in that one box, I think she'd gotten samples. Brad would be more interested in the one of them are the nails you could nail on the plaque. And the other were like springs that you could.
We'll have to wait till the trees get a little bigger.
Would that be a stainless steel?
Yeah. Either stainless or aluminum.
Yeah.
These feel lightweight, they're probably aluminum.
When we were over in Europe before last, in Morocco and places, that was one place. I mean, you see trees planted all over different places, but we were there and down where they had a beautiful tree place areas, and they had every kind of tree named and marked, and they had the springs around.
Right.
They used the springs, and they had, because the thing is, the tree gets bigger or whatever, and it doesn't hurt the tree. It just, that spring goes in. But that was the only place I've seen all that done, and that was the best place in all the places we've been in here. But they had a beautiful garden, and then, like I say, tree area all out in the front of there. They had paths through it, and you could walk and look. I took a bunch of pictures.
The plaque would be against the nailhead. So it's like what they have at Purdue and stuff in the Arboretum up there. There's also some springs for attaching these, not these particular ones, but she had a different one that had holes in the side, and you would wrap the spring around the
Right,
tree.
that's what they used over there. And but that was the area, but you go through, we go with Viking, we're on a ship, but we get off and get on a bus. and we go to all these countries and all these places. Because Viking, you go over the countryside, you don't stay on the ship. And you can see where they planted trees, and you can look and see that they know how to plant them, where they're mountain systems and whatever. You know, I go out here to Lake Point. There's two big trees, about so big. The one's been cut off pretty much. The other one will cut down. They're going to take and cut them all the way down and grind the roots out. It's like I tried to explain to the director there. Their mulch, whoever does the tree, that they do it for several of the homes. It's owned by the same corporation. And their mound is Lavena, mound system, that's those trees, the mulch go from outside, probably up 15 inches on that trunk. And don't kill it over one night or two, but it kills those trees. The mulch has got to be, you know, at the bottom where the root is. If you want to put it high, put it out here over the roots. But they can, those people that they don't hire them there, it's hired through corporation. They killed those trees, just pretty blunt. They killed them. And they're going to plant some new ones next year. And I told the director, I says, if they plant them, they put the mulch on them that big. I said, I'm going out there and I'm going to rake it away. You can tell them why. You can't, and you see this everywhere where you say, well, go back and look 4 or 5 years from now. You're killing it. Just gradually girdles them. You know what I'm talking about? It suffocates them. You got to keep that down. Melvina, she really preached that. And I noticed for places, you know, tree, you see ones that are growing, that's ones that's planted properly.
Volcano mulching, is what I call it.
Yeah. But it doesn't kill them
Mhm.
right away.
Right.
But if you go out there and put a wire or something around it, even a big rope, you know, that eventually shuts it off. And that's what it does.
Okay, so hearing no other business, I have a motion to adjourn. Want to get DK and Brad in here in our minutes, or?
So move.
Okay,
I'll second it. I'll get in on a minute.
okay, motion, Dale, second. All those in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Anybody opposed?
It's been interesting. Like I say, Tom and I have been on this from day one. Our Graham, you know, we did this and go from there. But we've been on it since day one, and you really, it was a learning experience, big learning experience. I know so much more by being in that I didn't know before, or I knew a little about. But now, I mean, where do you trim that tree? I'm like, well, this man right there. You know, where do you trim it? How do you trim it? Where do you cut that limb off? And you see all that, and you see it so poorly done, more than you ever see it done properly. And I just squirm when I see it. And I said, man, they're just destroying those trees. Go out here and go cut a limb. Well, don't cut it where it's supposed to, where it hangs on. Go out there and just whack it off. It's just a mess.
I'm gonna go ahead and end our live stream then, and we can have more discussions if we need.